going to show you my version of a cornflower. So for this I'm using Pro Gel Navy Blue. I've made a lighter blue in the Buttercream, and this is a Wilton 103 piping tip. As you can see, it's got a fat end and a thin end. And I've actually darkened some really dark. Now, piping tips I'm going to be using is a Wilton 2, which is a small round nozzle. I've also got a coupler on there. I'm going to be using a 59S, which is this nozzle. I'll just wipe the top of that because I've been using it. You can just see it's like a little, it's a petal tip. As you can see, a petal tip. And then a 54, a Wilton 54, and it's a little cross tip. Right, and I've got two cutters, a medium one and a smaller one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this cutter into the centre of this cupcake, like so. As you can see, it's left like a ring mark on it. I've obviously flat iced the cupcake as well. The cupcake is frozen and flat iced it in a green buttercream. You can do it in the blue if you wish to, but I just started to do it in green. And then I'm going to pop the smaller one in the centre. So then it looks like we've got a bullseye. Put them to one side. First, we're going to take our 103, tighten the bag, and we're going to start here, just about here, not close to the line, just here, and at 12 o'clock. And we're going to go up and down. We're going to do like a little jiggy motion and down, because we want the edge of these petals to look quite frilly actually. So it's a bit of a jiggy and down, a little jiggy and down, jigging it and down, jiggle it and down and down. You could almost say you're doing like a little bit of an M. All the way round. And always move the cupcake round, and always start at 12 o'clock. You've got the fat end down towards the cupcake. You don't need it, so we need the little M. And again, because we want the edge of these petals to look a bit frilly, because cornflowers are quite a frilly flower, as I call them. So we're doing like a little bit of an M really. I mean, some of them can be fat, some of them can be thin. You know, you don't have to have the same width of petals, as long as they're not too massive. I'm squeezing the one there. Okay. And stop and tighten the bag. We're going to go around again, but we're going to start about here. And we're going to do the same. Just do like a little M on top of these petals. So you're making like a little M motion. As you go round. Up an M and down. Up a little M and down. So you're writing an M. So it's just to give that little frill on the end of the petals. And an M. And again with a little M. And a little M. a tiny one in there. Okay, so we're going to tighten the bag, and we're just going to go and do a little in between these, the gaps of these petals. I need to wipe my tip, it's a bit dirty. We're now going to do some tiny ones, just little ones. We don't need massive, just sort of scattered in the gaps. So you've got the gaps of the two petals. We'll do one there. So just scattered in. Like so. There we go. So it looks like that. Now we're going to take our navy one. I'm going to take this number 2 off for now and pop that there. And we need the 54. So we pop that on the end and just tighten it. Just saves you using lots of bags. It's actually gone quite dark outside. It's all rain. Right, so what we're going to do is we want one in the middle and we want to come up with it. And then we're going to put these all the way around the sides of that one we've just done. Try and get a bit of height on them if you can. Straight up, that's it. And if you can get them quite tall, a bit tallish, it just gives that fluffy centre of the cornflower. There we go, that's all we need there. And I'll just wipe that tip anyway. Now we're going to take the 59S, and I'm going to pop that onto the end of there. Stick that on with the coupler and pop that on. So what we need to do now is, now this is going down like that. We're not making petals with it, it's going down. So I'm using a left-handed one, but it can be used in any hand, because at the end of the day it's not making a specific petal. But you can get right-handed ones. So we want to come out with these and fill in those little gaps there. Excuse me. So we're coming out and we're filling in the little gap of those petals and bringing it out a bit. So we're going up and out. I could do being a bit bigger. Oh, that's not coming out properly. Right, just wipe the end of your tip. It's important to keep your tip clean at the end, because that's what happens. It'll stop the buttercream from coming out. Nice pressure. And again, nice pressure. So we're basically going to fill this green bit in now with these. You can have short ones, you can have long ones, you can have big ones, little ones. Doesn't necessarily mean you've got to have them all the same size. Well, this one is a bit of a wrist colour because you've got to fill all this green in. Don't worry if some of your petals fall over like that one's just done. And continue round until you've got all this green filled. And stop and wipe the bag. And then do the nozzle. Okay. So we pull up and try and speed this up a bit now. I mean, people have different ways of making these cornflowers, but I I've done it this way. So ideally to get some of these stood up, these petals, as you can see mine's falling over. And to continue just to fill them in, just tighten my bag up again. Just slight pressure until all that green's covered. So you've got like a little fluffy centre. Looks quite fluffy. Oh, it doesn't want to come off. Unfortunately, I'll have to go over the top of that one. There we go. Seems to be proving a bit difficult for the buttercream to come out today. For some reason, it's not cold, so there we go. The centre is now getting quite fluffy, as you can see. I'll put a couple more in. And a couple more. There you go, you've got a nice fluffy centre. I'm going to take that off. And we're going to finally end up with our piping tip number 2 onto the piping bag. Now we're going to pipe some stamens. So what we need to do is, where we did those little crisscrosses, try and get in try not to do them too tall so they fall over. Okay, I'll be better picking this up now. Trying to hold it at the best angle for you to see. So we're going up and we're making little stamens. Just like the end of your nozzle. So they're going to flop over, don't worry. Just little tiny stamens in the centre, like so. So, oh, well, we're trying to get them to stand up, but I don't know. Some of them are. So we've got a nice little fluffy centre. Okay, now we can pick some of these up by, you can take a cocktail stick and if you just lift them slightly, don't attempt to do this when the frosting is dried, because otherwise they'll just snap off. So just lift them up slightly. They seem to be okay actually. Right, now we're going to take some Sugar Flare white. We're going to dip our cocktail stick into it, and we're just going to slightly touch the end of these little stamens. Just get tinsy with the white on there. Cornflower's obviously got the white things in the centre. top that one. Just gently touching there. You don't need massive amounts of it on. Just gives a nice little effect. On the end, the centre petals and stamens. That's it. That's all you need. And there you go. There's my version of cornflower. Thank you for watching.